There are only few public speeches remembered in Serbia. In 1915, Major Gavrilović gave speech while leading the defense of Belgrade. Some believe he didn't actually give this speech. There is evidence for both theories. Swedish heavy metal band Sabaton was inspired by the speech. They wrote a song, Last Dying Breath, on their album The Last Stand. What is the truth behind the speech? Who was Major Gavrilović? Dragutin Gavrilović was born in Čačak, Serbia in 1882. He finished military academy and held the rank of major. He fought in the First Balkan War, Second Balkan War, World War I and World War II. In the autumn 1915, Major Gavrilović was part of the defense of Belgrade against the Austro-Hungarian and German attack. Gavrilović commanded the 2nd Battalion of the 10th Infantry Regiment. Major Gavrilović was defending the position at the very confluence of Danube and Sava, beneath the Kalemegdan fortress. This was seen as the heart of Belgrade. With Gavrilović's battalion, there were members of the gendarmerie, police, and volunteers. There were heavy casualties on both sides. Austro-Hungarians were constantly sending new troops. Belgrade defenders had limited numbers. There was no help coming. Artillery barrage continued for 2 days. Austro-Hungarians had better weapons. The battle was lost. Belgrade defenders were still ready to die for their town. It is believed Major Gavrilović gave his famous speech. George Roche wrote down the speech. What's the problem? Roche is the only one who mentions the speech. I have to point out that many possible witnesses of the speech would have died minutes later. Roche was among few survivors. It is verified that Roche was indeed with Major Gavrilović during that time. No person ever came forward to contradict Roche. Major Gavrilović survived the war. He never publicly commented about the speech. This makes some believe that Roche invented the speech. But Roche published his book in 1931 when Gavrilović was still alive. Gavrilović could have denied giving the speech. Roche had no reason to lie. Roche might have changed some words, but there is no reason to doubt Gavrilović gave a speech. Gavrilović would have to say something to his soldiers to inspire them to fight. Also, there is no doubt that Gavrilović showed bravery. Gavrilović was wounded during the defense of Belgrade. He withdrew with the Serbian army to Corfu. Gavrilović participated in the breakthrough of the Thessalonica front. Voivoda, Field Marshal Petar Bojović suggested Gavrilović should get higher rank. Voivoda Stepa Stepanović believed Gavrilović was too young. After the war, Gavrilović received medals for bravery, including Karađorđe Star, the Serbian War Medal, and French Croix de Guerre. After the war, Gavrilović took the general exam but failed. Gavrilović wasn't member of the organization Black Hand, which might have hurt his career. Gavrilović lectured military administration at the military academy in Belgrade. His family says he hated teaching. In March 1941, General Dušan Simović offered Gavrilović the rank of general and the position of minister in the government. Gavrilović refused, saying he was only soldier. In 1941, Yugoslavia was invaded by the Axis. Gavrilovich was captured and taken to the prisoner of war camp near Nuremberg. He returned to Belgrade in 1945, seriously ill. He died several weeks after his return to Belgrade in 1945. This sparked rumors that he was killed by the communists. In 2011, his family denied Gavrilovich was killed by the communists. They said he died at home. At the time of his death, Gavrilovich held the rank of colonel, but he will always be remembered as major. Communists refused to give military pension to his family. Streets in Belgrade and many other Serbian towns are named after Major Gavrilovich. Why did some believe Major Gavrilovich died in 1915? We should blame Branislav Nušić for that. He was a famous Serbian writer and playwright. In 1934, Nušić published his book about the art of public speeches. He reprinted the speech Roš published in 1931. Nušić added comment that Gavrilovich was killed after he gave the speech. Why did Nušić make such mistake? Nušić was an historian and he might have repeated what he heard. However, some take this as the evidence there was no speech. Gavrilovich would have been celebrity if he gave such passionate speech. The fact is Nušić had no idea Gavrilovich was alive in 1934. In 1928, the country celebrated 10 years since the war. Gavrilovich wasn't singled out as a hero. But this can be explained as a result of pettiness or jealousy. Many people in Serbia were never given credit for amazing things they did. Everything depends on credibility of George Roš. Who was Roš? George Roš was born in Belgrade in 1896. He came from a German family who assimilated into Serbian society. Roš attended military academy. He fought in Second Balkan War and World War I. He was wounded during defense of Belgrade. During World War I, Roš became military pilot. After the war, Roš left the army and started export-import business with his brother. The Roš family left Belgrade in 1944 because they didn't want to live under communism. They moved between several countries before ending in Greece. Roš helped Hilandar Monastery. He died in 1977 and was buried near Hilandar. Meanwhile, Gavrilovich's speech was accepted as historical fact. Communists had no problem with the speech. They only removed words associated with the monarchy. The speech is short and very effective. I would say the speech fits the occasion. Gavrilovich wouldn't have time for long philosophical discussions. I can imagine Gavrilovich giving the speech under fire. We will never know with absolute certainty that Gavrilovich really said all those words. There is also no reason to reject the possibility he did give speech. The German commander August von Mackensen was impressed by the bravery of Belgrade defenders. Mackensen erected a monument of the battleground commemorating the defenders. This is an extremely rare example of respect between the enemies. I think I should finish with the Gavrilovich speech. Soldiers, exactly at 3 o'clock, the enemy is to be crushed by your fierce charge, destroyed by your grenades and bayonets. The honor of Belgrade, our capital, must not be stained. Soldiers, heroes, the Supreme Command has erased our regiment from its records. Our regiment has been sacrificed for the honor of Belgrade and the fatherland. Therefore, you no longer need to worry about your lives. They no longer exist. So forward to glory for the King and the fatherland. Long live the King, long live Belgrade.